Hey everyone, this is Riven Blade with a preview of AEW Dynamite for June 18th, 2021. So today we got Andrade El Idolo doing a sit-down interview with Jim Ross. One of the most prescient questions in this interview will be, can Jim Ross pronounce his name? I guess we'll find out. But really, the most interesting thing about this is, where will Andrade go first? I hope we get some sense of who he plans to target moving forward so we can maybe set up his first feud and maybe he'll announce his first match. I would really love to see that. I want to see this guy in a ring as soon as possible. Next up, we've got the trios match between Penta El Zero Miedo, Eddie Kingston, and Frankie Kazarian taking on Matt Jackson and the Good Brothers. So this is the follow-up to that fantastic trios match that happened last week where Eddie, Penta, and Pac worked together to defeat the Young Bucks and Brandon Cutler. Now, you have to assume the heels are probably going to get their heat back in this match, but I wouldn't be opposed to Frankie Kazarian somehow getting a victory here to add a little more fuel to the fire of his character. I really like the way he came off on Dark this week, and I wouldn't mind seeing them pick up the victory, but you gotta think that the heels are probably going to get some heat back in this match. Next up, Darby Allin in a handicap match against Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page. Very intriguing stuff here. You have to think that Scorpio and Ethan are getting the win, unless maybe Sting breaks his promise and gets involved in the match after all, leading to a Darby and Sting match down the road. I don't know how I would feel about that, as it would probably turn Darby a little heelish, which I don't think is a good idea given his connection with the fans and his popularity. This is going to be a really interesting one, and I'm assuming Darby and or Ethan Page are going to do something a little ridiculous in this match, so I'm looking forward to it. Just stay safe, guys, and I guess Sting and Darby is probably the direction that we're going long-term with this. I think that would be pretty cool. Next, Orange Cassidy versus Cezar Bononi. Sometimes you just need short-term television feuds, and this feels like one of those times. Bononi and the Wingmen have looked good this week on Elevation and Dark, setting up this match, hyping it up, making fun of Orange Cassidy, telling him that he needs a makeover, and Cezar Bononi, I guess, is going to make over his face in this match. That's the promise. But you know that's not going to happen. There's no way Orange Cassidy is losing this match. But at least it gives Cezar Bononi some reps on the main show. He's a very impressive-looking man, and this is good for him. So I'm looking forward to seeing what they put together. But this is just another W for Orange Cassidy, and he's always fun to watch, so I'm okay with that. Next up, Cody Rhodes and Brock Anderson versus QT Marshall and Aaron Solow. The continuation of the feud that feels like it's been going on for 8 months, even though it's only been, well, shorter than that. So this is the debut of Brock Anderson, which is really the main draw of this match, to see how well he can wrestle, how green he is. He is only, I believe, 23 years old, so quite young. He's got wrestling in his genes. So we'll see how it goes. I don't know how this one ends, except for Brock somehow either turning on Cody or getting the victory for his team. We'll see. There's some curiosity to this. I think this change, this addition of Brock, has added a little something different to this feud, and maybe it can turn my interest around in it. Next, Julia Hart versus Penelope Ford. I'm really rooting for both of these women to have an awesome match. However, after seeing Julia Hart this week on, I believe it was Elevation, I'm a little worried. I think she does have the athletic prowess to, put together some good, impressive-looking moves, but she did look a little out of sorts at times. But you gotta just, take it easy on her. She's only 19 years old, so she's got plenty of years left to develop as a professional wrestler, and putting her in the spotlight is the way to make her improve. So I'm glad that AEW is giving her a chance, and I wonder what this leads to. If it's just going to be a straight-up match, or will there be a post-match? Will we see Kip Sabian return, perhaps? Or will there be a brand new women's feud that comes out of this? I hope it's not just, let's have a women's match for the sake of having a women's match on Dynamite, and that there's actually more to it, and that they're given significant time to work it. Finally, Hager versus Wardlow in an MMA rules cage fight. So this will be 3 rounds, 5 minutes each, 45-second breaks between each round. Wardlow has said he's going to knock out Hager in the first round. I don't see that happening, and I'm still curious to see how they book this. Who knows? I think Hager is probably the one who needs the win more at this stage. He did lose to Wardlow when they had their singles match on Dynamite. So I think this is a way to get back the win. Whether it's clean or whether it's dirty is another question altogether. It's funny because in my mind, Wardlow is the face of this feud, although I know that really Hager is the one who's part of a face faction and is supposed to be the face in this one. But I'm just rooting for Wardlow so much. I wouldn't mind if he won this. In fact, I hope he does. But the MMA guy losing an MMA match doesn't really go over that well in pro wrestling. So I'm thinking Hager will get the win in this somehow. And that's Dynamite this week. So what matches are you guys most looking forward to? Let me know in the comments. And if you did enjoy this video, make sure to give it a like, subscribe, turn on those notifications, give me some love. And until next time, take it easy.